The Holy Kabbalah is a system of classifying the beings by comings, thoughts, monads, atoms, waves, packets of energy, ideas, or whatever one chooses to call them, of memorizing, discussing, and manipulating the relations between them. The units of the system are numbers. Generally, one means the natural numbers. All words are thus, in some way, connotations of every other word or number. It is merely a question of finding the right category to assert the relations between them. Once you assert the relation between them, these correspondences are not arbitrary. In some cases, there is a rational connection, direct or indirect. In others, the relation results from the direct observation. So, all possible ideas being ultimately integral with each other, it is evidently impossible to make a complete Kabbalah. The same applies to infinite series, to divergent series, to differentiations, to the expanding universe of one modern physical theory. The tree of life diagram should be studied so deeply and so constantly that it becomes automatic for the mind to accept it as the basis of all thinking on the subject of the tarot, exactly as the letters of the alphabet in their arbitrary order is accepted as the basis of all our thinking in respect of words and their pronunciation. Until this first task has been mastered, every detail of the tarot may prove a source of continual annoyance. Every symbol of tarot and Kabbalah must be so familiar as to have sunk completely into the unconscious strata of thought. Intellectual knowledge must be so wrought into the substance of the mind that it becomes instinct. So, Kabbalah must be studied very carefully, for it is the basis of the whole system on which the tarot is based. It is quite impossible to give a complete explanation of this figure, because, for one thing, it is quite universal. Therefore, it cannot mean the same to any one person as to any other. A's universe is not B's universe. If A and B are sitting opposite each other at a table, A sees the right side of the lobster and B the left. If they stand side by side and look at a star, the angle is different. Although the difference is very small, it exists. But the tarot is the same for all in the same way in which any scientific fact or formula is the same for all. It is most important to remember that the facts of science, though universally true in the abstract, are still not precisely true for any one observer, because even if the observation of any common object is made by two people of identical sensory reactions from the same spot, it cannot be done directly at the same time, and even the smallest fraction of a second is sufficient to move both object and observer in space. This fact is to be emphasized because one must not take the tree of life as a dead, fixed formula. It is, in a sense, an external pattern of the universe. Okay, I'm going to say that again. It is It is, in a sense, an eternal pattern of the universe. Just because it is infinitely elastic and it is to be used as an instrument in one's researches into nature and her forces, it is not to be made an excuse for dogmatism. The tarot should be learnt as early in life as possible. A fulcrum for memory and a shema for mind. It should be studied constantly, a daily exercise, for it is universally elastic and grows in proportion to the use intelligently made of it. Thus, it becomes a most ingenious and excellent method of appreciating the whole of existence. And this came from the Book of Thoth by Aleister Crowley.